This video is about the functions and operation of the asset version and branch control add-on. If you would like a video that talks about its use cases within production and why it's useful, I have another video on that. To install the add-on, just click Install in the Preferences, go to wherever you have located the zip file, click Install Add-on, go ahead and enable it. You're going to see within the end viewport or the end panel, of the viewport, it has all these options. It'll normally come disabled. And within the preferences here, we have a number of options. I'm going to go over these first because they have to do with file path. So you have your version and your running or active file path directories. If nothing is given and you update the file, then this will automatically choose the base path of whatever current file that you have. If you were to go in here and add things to list argument, this will take a Python list and strings within a Python list based on the broken up file name, based on split file name on of your file name up here. So in this case, the only thing that we can add is 0 because there is no asset underscore asset name or similar, which would be split up on asset. And you can see that to the base directory, it's going to add another folder that I'll save versions in called asset name. If I was to go in here and I was to put a comma and then in quotations put say something like string, then you can see it's asset name string, and then all versions will be saved inside that folder structure. Same thing for running directories. This allows for flexibility within production and application. Underneath that, we have pack resources into versions and pack linked objects and resources into versions. So resources is anything like textures or audio or other interdependent data that isn't linked from another Blender file. So this can be useful within versions to ensure that all textures are packed into the version and that they don't change when you change textures that would normally be referenced. This is fairly useful. However, packing linked objects and resources, this is packing anything that's linked into the file from another Blender file. This is something that you want to do if your asset has maybe 5 or 6 different sub-assets or assets that feed into it to create a specific version. However, and you don't want to have those automatically updated. However, this is something that you probably don't want to have enabled when you're working on a scene and you have maybe 50 or 60 different assets within the scene. And you want those to update when you push to running, as you'll see in a little bit. So yeah, that goes over the preferences panel. Coming to the viewport, we can enable versions, and we have a list of different options. I'm going to initialize by clicking refresh UI. You can also save and this and that, and in order to pop up this menu, and we can see that asset data is not found at this file location. This will ask me if I want to generate it. I can press OK, and it's going to, if I bring up the directory, it's going to bring up asset data.json. If I save, it's going to, if everything follows the file naming convention, add an entry into that list. So in order to make everything prim and proper, I'm going to create a version. So save next version up here. We can see that it changed for a second, and we now have a version within this directory. This means a few different things have happened. But this allows me to open, overwrite, pull a copy, and branch from, as well as delete the version and see any information that caused it, any information that's related. So go ahead and open this. You can see it's been marked as open, and we are now able to push this file to its running or create more versions. So I can save next version, create version 2, reopen version 1. I'll open version 2, and let me use this as an opportunity to display the chain descriptions. So changes in version, set description line, change 1, change transform type, whatever information might be useful. If we then save this, it'll now pop up within the information about this document. And then we can go back and reopen other files. We can also overwrite a file based on this file. So I can overwrite version 1 with version 2. Or if I was to create another branch, I can merge this object into a version on that branch. Not merge, excuse me, overwrite. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and I can open version 1 and create new branch. And you can see a new branch has been created. And now I can open this new branch, and this gives me a completely different branch structure. It should also say, nope, okay. So yeah, so now on any one of these, if these are open, so this is S001, I can go ahead and I can push this to the current file to running. So this will create a running document that can be referenced, and it of course saves to the running directory that is specified as before. And this means that, yeah, it's another file created from whatever you choose. But if I was to change a file and push it, it'll overwrite the running file, reopen that, and now the object has been updated. So now any scenes or any other assets that reference this Blender file will automatically be updated as well. And there are different, oops. So as you can see, VT002, so there are different running files per branch. This allows you to have, say, a version of a character in one branch that is extremely devastated, clothes torn, and maybe some things that are different with the rig from the originating branch. And these can be stored completely separately and referenced within different scenes. Anything that might require things that can't be saved or made within shape keys and shader information, and viewing and hiding things within the collections. So I believe that about covers it. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this add-on is very useful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I am more than happy to change and adjust the functionality and improve it for this add-on.